welcome back to another 4 Styles Thursday. So I've got a treat for you today, one from my collection of aeroplanes. So I know up until now I've been doing a few different kind of optimum scenes, mushrooms, flowers, that sort of thing. So I thought it's time to change it up a little bit and give you a bit of a new image. So today the image is one of the RAF Red Arrows, taken at RAF Cosford, one of the great air shows. And obviously they've not been on for the last couple of years due to COVID restrictions and lockdown, but I thought this would be a great one to try and see what we can get out of it and see what different 4 styles we can get. So let's get straight in and start editing. So as usual, I've already cropped this image to the size that I wanted, and this was taken back on my D7200 with my 150 to 600mm Tamron lens, the first edition, and I was quite happy with how it turned out in terms of coming with all 9 of the arrows with the smoke trails in the varying colours, and so I'm hoping that we can get quite a little bit out of this. Obviously there's a little bit of haze going on thanks to the smoke trails, so after they've done loop-the-loops in the air, you're going to lose some of that and have to kind of cut through, so we might do a bit of dehazing, but let's get straight into it. So first image, let's go. So the thing I always want to do with the red arrows is try and bring out reds, but I'm gonna kind of want to concentrate on getting some of this cloud colour first. Exposure I'm kind of fine with, that's going to come up, and I think there might be for me just a slight purple tint. I'm gonna maybe too dry, just a touch down on that. So contrast, so like I said, there's going to be quite a lot of haze in this, so I usually use contrast on these images to cut through there. And then highlights, I really like those clouds, so pushing the highlights, shadows coming down, so that'll start bringing out the wingtips as you can see here. So that'll kind of have an effect and start just giving the planes a little bit more definition. And similar whites, once again I don't want to really make the clouds too shiny, just blacks, and all I'm doing is trying to add quite a heavy amount of contrast here to the image. I might go a bit too far with that temperature for my liking, so I'm just going to bring that back up a little bit. Clarity, vibrance, and I'm actually going to bring that down a little bit. Saturation not so much, because I just want to, like I say, try and keep contrast, and saturation would get rid of it completely. So I want to kind of keep that a little bit punchy, and still keep what we can. So we come down, definitely going to put in a bit of a curve on this one, not too much, but I kind of just want to flatten some of those shadows and highlights out. And then this is where we're going to have a little bit of fun. So the reds, definitely push more towards the reds on those, and if there's any oranges in there, pushing again. I want to bring the saturation back into those reds, and same with the oranges. So magenta, blues, aqua, so definitely want aqua green more towards blues. Once again, pumping that saturation, luminance, and the blues, let's just push those up a little bit. So like I said, I think there's like a few things going on with colour I'm not too happy with, so I just want to bring that saturation a little bit, and luminance I'm going to go down in that a little bit because I want to kind of get a nice dark colour in the sky and get kind of a contrast between the red and the blues going. And then colour grading with this one, I think I'm going to leave that where it is, but what I will just double check and go up and look at dehaze. So just going to bring that up a little bit, not too much, because it starts to look awful very, very fast. So just a little bit. And I think there we go. So I won't do any sharpening, but yeah, you can see when you zoom into this image, you can see quite a few heat hazes, all the fun of aircraft photography. I think for the first edit, I'm quite happy with that. Let's have a look at the before, let's have a look at the after. Okay, image number 2. So I'm going to bring that temperature quite up, and as you can already see, like if you just want to like go back to that first image, you can always see the temperature change. So this is gone for a very blue, very stylized kind of image, and you can see the temperature kind of like, I don't want to say washes it out, but I think this is probably bringing it more towards like very much like a stylized old photograph almost. So where do we want to go? I'm going to bring the exposure down a little bit in this one, and contrast. Once again, contrast, I'm going to go up. Highlights, just a touch, shadows, and already. So this is probably close to how I would edit my aircraft photography normally with this image. So in terms of pumping up the temperature, especially my D7200, which I think sometimes can use that temperature pumping up. But always I do like pushing the contrast quite heavily in terms of the red arrows, because I love trying to get some more plumes, like how much detail can you get out of these plumes of smoke, and I'm always tempted to like just get that contrast really high, but I don't want to just now. But I do want a difference between highlights, shadows, clarity. Actually, let's bring it down a little bit. So I'm just softening it because I don't want to have too much detail in, well, I do want to have detail in the smoke, but I kind of want to add a softness to it. So if you can see, like, I've increased the clarity, it's going to be grainy, it's going to add things that I want. I kind of just want like the clouds to kind of have a smoothness to them. And it's not much, but it's just enough to kind of just give it a little bit. Dehaze again, ever so slight on that. Not a slider that I want to really play with. So vibrance, down again a little bit, and definitely, you know, a curve. Actually, let's go a little bit heavier on this one. So similar to like we could just use the dehaze vibrance, but just do like just playing with the curve a little bit, kind of getting some nice. Also flattening the images, flattening the blacks, flattening the whites, and bringing them a bit closer, but then sharpening that off. Once again, reds, all the saturation, bring those reds back. Now you can see the luminance, I want them bright in the sky. I mean, it's the red arrows, so let's give them all of it. Yellows, I'm going to get rid of any yellows because I'm just noticing there's a little bit in the clouds over here. Actually, not too quite. And actually the blues, I'm going to bring those down a little bit. Saturation just a touch. And then those aquas can go towards the blues. So you'll see with those aquas, it's actually, there's quite a lot in terms of the bottom of the clouds there. So the blues on this one are affecting kind of like background quite heavily. But I think actually there's a lot of aqua as well inside there, and so playing around with that, bring it back, and we can have quite a nice cool image. So it's almost like that temperature kind of negated a little bit, but what I'm actually going to do, I do like the orange cast, so we're going to bring that back into the shadows, not the shadows, sorry, the highlights a little bit, and then the shadows. I'm going to go really strong in those shadows. He says, pulling it back down a bit. And there we go. So that's image number 2. Before, after, before, after. Tell me what you think in the comments. And if you like what you're seeing, remember to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps, and it puts a big smile on my face. And everyone loves to see a big smile on my face. So this is the one where I'm going to go with my over-the-top, highly stylized edit, because I'm a madman. So exposure, combine down, contrast, going up, highlights, pumping those highlights, shadows down, whites, let's bring those back in, and the blacks, not too much, it's quite a lot of blue in there. So back to what we were saying on the last one. Like I say, my D7200 might just be me, but like I say, I do think when I shoot these raw, so we're not talking about kind of like a special colour application on it at this point. Okay, so before I go any further, so this is the latest version of Lightroom, so in case this is a bit confusing to you, it's still something I'm getting used to. So the new masking area, so I'm creating a new linear mask, linear gradient mask, and if you've seen me before, this is like been really great for me. So I can put a mask on one side, and then I can add another mask to that same collection to the other side, and I do this quite a lot in my photos, which you've seen, and then I can adjust both those masks at the same time. And it makes me so happy because it makes my life so much easier. So, mask either side, bringing the focus down onto this centre plane. We cut off a couple of the edges, don't mind about that. And also, I think what we're going to do is, let's go back in there and have a new mask. We're just going to have another radial gradient. I'm just going to get it on that main plane in the middle. Invert. Then move the invert button. That's the thing that's confused me the most. Just do that. And this is going to be like the ever slightest little halo you've ever seen. Contrast wise, let's just bring that down a touch. Highlights. There we go. Now, you might think me crazy at this point. I just want to see how it looks. I want to go, yeah. So this is something I've been doing quite a lot, maybe too much recently, but very aggressive curves. Give that really, really nice washed out look, and I love it. Don't know if anyone else loves it. Slap a comment down below if you think it looks horrible and terrible and I should never do it ever again, but I'm really liking it at the moment. So I'm bringing those blues down as well, and I just want to get rid of the saturation in them. Let's get the luminance up in the blues though, so we can have some light in our sky. And I think once again, reds. Let's not forget about those reds, and we're bringing the luminance back on those reds as well, and oranges can come back. I think not too much there, but now I'm looking back, don't know, that radial filter's 9mm, you can kind of see too much of a halo, so we should be able to select that again, and I just want the tiniest little bit. I do want it, just not all over the place, not so it's noticeable. Now, do I want to? Let's have a look. We'll play around, we'll see if it works. It works. I'll go for standard. Before? After? No, I'm not happy with that. Leave colour gradient. Sometimes it's good, you can just go too much. So it's good to know when to stop. And I'm definitely stopping at this point. So, let's have a look at the before. After. Okay, and everyone's favourite section, black and white. So, I don't do many black and white photos with my aircraft. Don't know why, but maybe I should do more. Maybe because they always are really nice colours. Yeah, we do like seeing nice colours. What I'm going to do, this is me being a bit cheeky, so I've just increased the exposure a little bit, increase the contrast, because once again I love getting the smoke trails out, and I will come back to that and get it out. Let's just do select sky. This is one of the new tools, one of the new masks in Lightroom. Yeah, I didn't think that would work. I was hoping it would select all the blues. So no, let's not have that. Delete. Yes, we can do that. Okay, let's leave that. We'll do this in a different way. So highlights, going up, shadows, come down, whites. Whites actually I want to bring those down. Blacks, and they're going to come down quite heavy. Just a small curve this time. There's not too many blacks there for us, but I do want to... Would you believe they are the red arrows? Without any red. And interestingly, so we should be all clear with the lightness of the planes a little bit. And those blues, so we can control blues from here. Just want to make those a bit darker. Any of those magentas in the plane a little bit. Let's bring that up a little bit so the smoke trails on this left hand side. Oranges, touch on planes and yellows. Just a touch. Now I am going to do the other red arrows, and I want to have some red in there. Even if it is just the smallest bit. Let's just do it actually. Let's do it in the midtones. There we go. That makes me happy. And actually, just to round this one off, let's put in a vignette. Because those corners are quite bright in this. Also, I'll cover up the soft spots in my 150-600. There we go. So, there's the before. There's the after. So I hope you've enjoyed the images today. Let me know in the comments what you think, which is your favourite one. Remember to like and subscribe, all the support does help, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.